Hey guys, it's day 7 of my 31 days of Fright, and we completed the first week. I hope you guys are liking them so far. I'm enjoying doing them. So, what's today's movie? Well, I got something special planned. I'm actually going to do something a little different. I want to compare an old version of a movie to the remake of the same movie. Today, we're going to do Blood Feast from 1963 and from 2016. So I just wanted to compare and contrast the two, just to see what's similar, what's different, and which one do I recommend most. Um, so you might be asking yourselves, hey, didn't you review Blood Feast last year? You are right, I did review Blood Feast last year. And if you were paying attention to my first post, that means I'm going to do another movie review on my written medias, such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So that means you're going to get 3 reviews today if you read my Instagram and Facebook. And I'm not even going to tell you what my second review is because it's going to be a surprise for you guys that actually do read. Don't you feel special? Okay, so the movie that I'm going to talk about, the first one, is Blood Feast from 1963. And it was made by Herschel Gordon Lewis, that basically was the godfather of gore exploitation movies. And I know I say the word exploitation films a lot, but what does it really mean? Well, here's a little background towards what an exploitation film is.
Just to clarify, an exploitation film is a film that attempts to succeed financially by exploiting current trends, niche genres, or lewd content. So for the most part, it's just a way to market extreme trends such as gangs, cannibalism, slashers, sex, westerns, and even race.
So yeah, that's basically what I mean by exploitation film. So he is essentially the godfather of this, like the gore genre, because he was the first one that did a gory slasher movie. This predates Halloween and Black Christmas, so this is definitely like the first of its kind. So, what do I think about it? Well, let's get into it. This is Blood Feast, 1963.
So the plot is pretty simple. There is a serial killer going around and killing young girls so he can please his ancient Egyptian god Ishtar and bring her back.
Oh, my Ishtar, my goddess, at last you have signaled me to begin.
But she looks like a mannequin that is painted gold. He pleases her by performing a blood feast, basically making food using human remains. So, human sacrifices to the gods. I wonder if they're really sacrificing to Ishtar. Anyway, this is one of those movies where you just watch it for the great moments and people. Like the police detectives bickering at each other about the killer.
There should have been clues all over the place. And we couldn't come up with one.
Yeah, and the DA's office is getting hot too, Chief. Well, we're just working with a homicidal maniac, that's all.
The bad acting.
Have you ever had an Egyptian feast?
Why, that would be fine. That would be perfect. My daughter, Suzette, is a student of Egyptian culture.
And let's not forget Connie Mason.
Caterer has a marvelous idea. I can hardly wait. Aren't you excited?
Yes, Mother, of course I am.
Then we get to our main killer, Fuad Ramses, the man of the hour. I mean, just look at this dude. Who in the right mind is going to be like, yep, that guy looks normal, with his big bug eyes and his dark gray hair and having a bad Bela Lugosi impression?
Now, O Ishtar, the feast is begun.
So, the main point of this character is that he runs an exotic food catering service and he specializes in unusual feasts.
Yes, Mrs. Fremont, I do cater to unusual affairs.
So when he kills his victims, he takes a piece of them for the feast. He gets legs, brains, even tongues. For a movie that was made in the 60s, it's pretty graphic. I mean, I can see why people thought this was gruesome and gratuitous at the time. I mean, look at it. It was the first of its kind, so I can't really judge it that hard. But that is pretty much the movie. The movie does focus on the police and the side characters around the murders, instead of just focusing on the main killer, which is normal for these kinds of movies.
Relax, hon. Just a while longer. Your folks know you're in good hands. It's alright. This is when it just starts getting nice.
So what do I give Blood Feast 1963? I give it 3 stars. You know what? It might be bad. It's actually kind of hard to watch, but for the first of its kind, it's kind of special. It basically created a whole new genre. So I can't really knock it that much, but I do highly recommend it. I know it's on Amazon Prime and on Shudder, so give that one a watch. So the next movie is the remake of Blood Feast from 2016. There's definitely some differences, but let's get into it right now with the 2016 version of Blood Feast.
So right off the bat, it pretty much has the same plot, which it should, but there are some key differences than the original. For starters, both the guys do own businesses where they sell food. It's just that in this one, he runs a 50s diner in France for some weird reason.
Looks so great.
Oh, good. You like it.
Very welcome. Bon appetit.
Well, thanks.
Matilda, I think you could use a few calories. Could I interest you in a nice big juicy steak?
Yeah, him and his family moved to Paris, France to open a 50s American diner. Don't ask why. I think it's dumb also. And it's not just a market. He also has a family unlike the original. So you come to find out that he's having some financial problems, so he decides to get a night watchman's job at an Egyptian museum.
We have a little financial difficulty. Not enough customers, not enough money.
This move was very, very expensive.
You have a second job, Dad.
Yes, I have a second job, and the night shift at the museum is just for that, to get out of debt. Once we're out of debt, then things may change.
And why are we in debt?
The move, the diner.
Oh, this isn't even really Paris. It's some little suburb.
Hey, watch your attitude. You think your tuition is cheap?
And one night he just happens to forget his medication. And that's the one thing I do not like about this movie, is that they make such a big deal about him not taking his pills. Like his wife, for example. She makes it sound like he's gonna do something fucking crazy if he doesn't even take them.
Fuad, how long has it been that you've stopped taking your medicine?
What do you mean?
Don't. The pills are gone. We've talked about this. You have to take your medicine.
I was taking my pills out of the container, and they all spilled into the sink. That's what happened.
Get some new ones.
I will. I just figured, I'd wait a month and let...
This is not about saving money on me. This is your health.
I mean, did something happen to warrant this concern? We don't know. We never find out. It just so happens to be the night where he meets Ishtar, the Egyptian goddess of love, in the museum.
Hello?
Fuad, my lover, how I long to be united with you.
So I'll give it this. It's not a mannequin painted gold. They actually got a real human woman to be Ishtar. And another thing that's cool is they actually explain what the blood feast is and what he has to do to actually achieve it.
Before Tammuz became a god, the goddess Ishtar laid eyes on him, and Ishtar was impressed with Tammuz. And she said, I must add this young man to my collection. He is, after all, bright, strong, young, beautiful. And she told Tammuz that he could be with her. So here is Tammuz, who is burning with love and desire. He captured some boys and girls. He slaughtered 7 boys and 7 girls and cooked them in the dinner that he served to the townspeople. Now here are the townspeople enjoying their dinner, not knowing where it came from. They couldn't tell. They were eating their own children. They thanked Tammuz for the feast he had prepared. And in exchange, Ishtar welcomed him as her lover.
So for the blood feast to occur, they have to kill 7 people and feed them to their town. As in, they have to feed them to like their local like people, like their families or neighbors, so forth. So she can become their personal sex servant. Yeah, apparently you do this feast to unlock her like soul, and you could basically be her internal love forever. I mean, it makes a lot more sense than the first one. Unlike the original, the victims are people we kind of already know. Like the kid that doesn't leave the restaurant when he's told, his daughter's friends, not just completely random people. I do have to say, though, that the kills in this movie are more cultish, in the sense that he kills the people wearing a stupid headpiece and tortures them first in like some type of like Egyptian sacrifice ritual. I mean, he doesn't even wear the headpiece in the original. But do you really need to? It's just overkill in my opinion. But at least the kills are, to say, are more colorful. In this one, you see him prepare his first victim and serve it to somebody. It's pretty hardcore, not like the original at all.
You're gonna want to try my new recipe.
This is seriously so amazing. It's really good. It's quite different.
Isn't it? So happy to hear that you're enjoying it, Clement.
You're such an eating machine, Matisse.
Yeah, and you like everything that's fat and meaty.
Yeah.
Where in the original, we're focused more on the police and the people like Connie Mason and her side story. This one is more focused on Ramses himself and how he's sneaking around and getting all the pieces and murders that he needs to complete this feast. It's definitely modernized, but we still get the tongue rip, which is pretty cool. I definitely do not like the wife. It seems like she knows what her husband's going to do, even before he even does it. Like, did he do something before?
Where were you yesterday?
Does it really matter, Louise?
Then I'm going to bed.
It also has some of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen outside of a porno. Like this one.
You have very pretty eyes.
I'm glad you like them. Would you like to see them with cum all over my face?
What am I supposed to say about this? Who fucking says that, French hoe? It also has a lot of filler, like her daughter going on a date, his wife walking around. There is one thing that this movie does that the original does not. They actually do have a blood feast, and it's pretty intense, so I'm not going to spoil it because you should definitely check it out. But there is one downside to it. I don't know if it's just me, but the part is pretty funny and over the top, at least in my eyes. I don't know if it was just the mood I'm watching this in, but I could not stop but like chuckle when they're just making those creepy faces.
So with the 2016 Blood Feast, there's definitely some differences. Some good, some bad. Overall, I give it maybe 2.5 stars. For me personally, I think the ending is the only part worth watching, in my opinion. Everything else is just kind of like, yeah. So I hope you find these reviews interesting. If you want to see the 2016 version, by the way, it's on Amazon Prime. But yeah, if I had to pick one for you guys to watch, I definitely the first one, because that's the first one of the new genre that was invented. And if you like that one, definitely check out the remake. I'm not saying it's not worth watching, but it's more enjoyable if you actually seen the first one to compare it to. So the first week's over. We got 3 more to go, and for me, it's just starting. So I hope you like these videos. I hope you like reading my reviews, and make sure to check out my second review on my Instagram and Facebook, because I'm not going to announce what it is on here. So definitely check out for that. Definitely like and subscribe, comment to tell me what you think. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed them. So until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.